Hello there and welcome back to another Master Mouldie video. Today we're looking at another LEGO Star Wars 2026 January 1st set release. And it's 4 weeks today until the January 1st sets come out. And we've still got absolutely no news on Star Wars. What's going on? Where is Star Wars? I feel like every other theme has been announced, at least leaked in some way, and we've got absolutely no news, no magazine images, no posters. If you are new to the channel, we've already looked at the polybag for May 4th, the Vader's TIE Advance, and also the Mandalorian Speeder, which is also coming out January 1st. But today, we're going to be taking a look at the Clone Shock Trooper Mech. Yes, it has been there the whole time. You can go back through to the start of the video. You'll see it's been there all along. And this Shock Trooper Mech, Clone Shock Trooper Mech, they wanted to get clone in there somehow. Interesting that it's not just straight up called a Clone Trooper Mech, I'd like to point out. This is the only one on the market. There's no other Clone Trooper Mechs that we've had previously. And I very much doubt in the next 2 years they'll be doing more like this. Unless... what if we were to get more mechs like this? I mean, Rex did come out in a Y-Wing. What if Bakara comes out in a mech? That would be quite cool. I'd love to get some sort of extra detail in for the unique helmet of Bakara. Maybe like some sideburns around the edge of the mech. But today we're going to be looking at this. And there's a few improvements I do want to make. But that'll be in a video coming out very, very soon. For today, we're just going to focus on the actual build of the mech. Can't believe 2 years later, and we're still taking a look at mechs. This has done really well for a Star Wars theme. Normally, we don't get this many sets. And as you can see, different to the one that I had built, well, must have been months ago now. I can't remember the first time I built the Clone Shock Trooper mech. But originally, I built this dark red. I'm afraid to say the LEGO one is red. Well, not afraid, but I do prefer dark red. I think the dark red and white combo of Kenobi Starfighter, the V19 works well. But for the Shock Trooper, we do have the red detailing on the minifigure, which this is based off. We've got the printed 2x2, but even the printed part looks like two 1x2s. I don't think that's gonna really sway your decision to pick up this mech. I guess some of the mechs in the past have gotten away with it. Boba's chest piece resembling that Mandalorian style armor, that is very recognizable. And even Darth Vader, it's not his full torso, but that chest piece just screams Vader. It's typical Vader. But for the Imperial Stormtrooper, I noticed LEGO didn't use the chest piece. It would have been, what, two white rectangles with a black line in between. Instead, they went with the Imperial logo. And I have to say, getting a red, bright red, dark red, any sort of Republic logo on this mech would have definitely made it a much more interesting set for collectors, because that's a logo that can be used on ships. They can include the logo on like the V19 can be printed on a 2x2 tile. We've been asking for this from LEGO for ages. It doesn't even have to be square. They could print it on a round 2x2 as long as it fits on the torso. I just think there could have been so many more interesting printed tiles than these two 1x2s that are, at the end of the day, two 1x2s. But you know, LEGO have gone with it, and there's no going back this close to release. Actually, we've seen LEGO Star Wars sets go through changes months afterwards, so there's always time. It's representing the chest piece on the actual Trooper minifigure. We've got the belt just around the hip. Nowhere to clip your blaster, because that is hooked on the back. And then on the legs, they've actually done the legs really well. Let's move this arm. We'll take a look at that exclusive piece in a second. But on the legs, we've got the two stripes represented by the grille. Love to see that. A lovely LEGO element. Can we take a second to appreciate that 1x2 grille? I do think we could see more grills in the future of LEGO. Maybe a 1x2 two-stripe. Maybe even a 4 or 5 stripe. It'd be nice to add to our collections for these little details. And then we've got the boots continuing on, much like the LEGO versions. There's that gap of colour between the legs, but I'd argue it's a lot smaller than the LEGO minifigure. That's something we will be needing to fix when we improve the mock. Whilst you watch this video, keep in mind that this is only the 2nd January set we've built, and if there are any others you'd like to see on the channel, let me know in the comments and I'll be building the most commented set next time I do a video on any of the sets, unless I pick up the battle pack by that point, because I'm really excited for that one. The arms are the hardest part to build without the set, because this 2x2 red slope in the new variety, where it doesn't have that extra plate height at the bottom, it's only 3 plates tall rather than the 4 that we're used to seeing, is a brand new element for January 2026, and a pretty cool element it is at that. But what makes it exclusive isn't the fact that it's a new element, because we've seen this before in a few LEGO sets. I think I even have a few of the other colours behind me in my drawers, but in bright red, now it's an exclusive element. So it's a recolor of a piece that was introduced, I think, earlier on this year. We'll know for sure in a second because it should say so on Bricklink. Element 5846. This is all of the colours that it currently comes in. White, light bluish grey, bright light yellow, which is a really nice colour, blue, dark azure, another really nice colour, bright light blue, and pearl gold. You can see it's not come in Star Wars yet, and all 13 sets have been this year. But let's have a little look at some of the sets it's come in. Holiday Express train, pretty pricey. A few, middle range ones, but it does appear that Happy Plants is the only set it comes in around the same price point. Maybe the retro telephone, I don't know how expensive that is. But this Mech is going to be the cheapest set you can get your hands on them in. Not only is that a good thing for bright red, but also if you wanted to pick up this element and, dare I say, paint it a different colour, this Mech is the cheapest way to get it. It represents the one thing that these minifigures are missing, and that's the top reds of the arms. I don't want arm printing on a clone trooper. I'm not fussed with all the little breaks in the armour. I just want to see dual moulded arms for clone troopers that really need it. A little bit of red on the top of the shoulder, maybe not even dual molded. We did take a look at the Star Trek set and actually built the gift with purchase, which, spoiler alert, you don't need to pick up day one. You can very easily part something together later on down the line if you do want to wait for a sale. But the minifigures in the Star Trek Enterprise have little black printing on the top of the arms. They're not dual molded arms, that would have well overcomplicated it. Maybe something like that, similar for the clone troopers. No emblems, no logos, just a little red patch on the top of the arms would improve these minifigures so much. This is now at least the third set we've got these shock troopers in. We saw them in the battle pack. We saw them in the Coruscant Guard gunship. The 2024 battle pack, by the way, 2 years ago, which is around the time that the mech started coming in, a few months after that. And they should have been included in Keller and Beck's Speeder. I think that would have been a really cool addition to the 501st that we also get. But with those sets being fairly old, this might be the only one on shelves by the end of 2026. Apart from some of the details, like that unique shoulder element, I think they've kept to the same structure of the mechs. We've got the large pieces for the insides of the arms and legs, which we've modified out to be hinges. Take a look at the old Stormtrooper mech, for instance. We had a lot of fun trying to find a way to add elbow and knee joints to our characters. And even though we don't have any clips on the side of the torso, it's still very much built the same as even Luke's X-Wing mech, which I do wish this was more like. I wish they'd styled this mech after a gunship. Could you imagine a gunship mech? That would be awesome. But the blaster is more accurate to what we see in universe in the movies, even in the Clone Wars, than what they've given our Shock Trooper minifigure here. Also is different to the latest LEGO Star Wars magazine, which comes with a Shock Trooper, a clone Shock Trooper, same one as this mech. They've gone with the candle element on the end of the blaster. I think this is just to mix it up. We got the hilt in the magazine, and even the hilt could do with some improvements to make it more accurate to this. The one thing I think this blaster is missing is a sight. It's not accurate to the blaster we see in universe. This blaster does have the little hand holder to the side. Maybe that's a magazine. Maybe that's not somewhere to hold your hand. It's very hard showing this off as it is completely black. But I'm happy with the blaster we got in the set. Wish we got a few more accessories like the X-Wing wings, but for the clone troopers, this is a pretty good way to pick up another Shock Trooper clone and add them to your collection. So should you pick this set up day one? It's going to be about 15 quid, $20, which is quite steep to pay for one clone trooper that's valued, well, that come in the LEGO Star Wars magazine, so is valued less than a $5 for sure, just based off that. And has come in like the battle pack that is fairly cheap. In the UK, it's £16 right now, which is not much more than this mech's going to be. And on top of that, you're getting some Phase 1 shinies, you're getting some droids, but it's retiring this year. So once that's gone, it's not really got much competition. I think this is a nice gift to get someone if they are into clone troopers. It gets them an extra clone. It's a pretty nice build. There's some rare elements on the kneecaps, down on the shins. This element has not come in a set twice before. First time for that, though it is in a few cheaper sets like the Sonic set. Again, you've got the shoulder joints, which is a nice element. You always get some lovely elements in these mechs, and a ton of round black 1x2 plates. That's quite a good piece to collect for mock building. So there's a lot of alternate builds I see this being built into. I can't wait to see all the ATRTs because that's something that the Stormtrooper mech was even turned into, a lot of ATRTs. And this is perfect for that modification. I'd even say that the torso element is the right shape, the right size for an ATRT with these legs. So I'm going to be improving this over the next couple of days, comparing it to the magazine, and maybe come the new year, buying a few more of these, seeing just what we can build. But in terms of day one, I don't think many of us are going to be picking this up. This is the sort of set that you wait for a sale, and later on down the line, pick this up on a 2 for 20, maybe 2 for £15 deal, Argos in the UK, Amazon in the US, and pick it up alongside either another one for half price or alongside the battle pack, because those go quite well together for clone troopers. I don't think this is meant to be an army builder. If you're a fan of the mechs, it's a lovely build. I do recommend it, but I wouldn't be rushing to LEGO stores just for this set alone. There's a load of other good sets in the January wave. Like I say, don't forget to let me know which one you'd like to see next, but that will be all for today's review. I am so excited. I'm going to get to mocking this straight away. Keep your eye out for that video. Check out the others on screen, and may the bricks be with you always.